down on your roller, on your towel, whatever you're using. But just lie down and try and find a little bit of softness here. So I know, especially if you're lying on the roller and it's really hard, it's difficult to relax. So just try and let your body soften here. So just focus on your breathing and take your nice deep breaths. Try and find that nice wide chest and shoulders. Trying to let your pelvis anchor down. And then we're going to start to gently move, and we're going to start to move our shoulders. So let's have bent elbows, and let's just do little circles here. So kind of, we've got our arms bent, and think about circling your elbows around. And then let's reverse those little circles and go the other way. And then let's give ourselves a little hug. So wrapping one arm on top of the other as you wrap your arms around. See if you can find that inside edge of your shoulder blade maybe. And then just hold here for a few breaths. And then opening up your arms wide as we switch them over so the other arm is on top this time. And again, giving yourself a little hug. See if you can find that inside edge of your shoulder blade. And taking some deep breaths here. And then we're going to start to go from one side to the other with our hug, just moving a little bit slow, but not holding for quite as long. So open out and switching arms. Just pausing for a moment and then opening out and switching arms again. So just nice and slow, nice and controlled. And then as you open those arms out this time, we're going to float the arms up towards the ceiling. Palms are facing in towards each other. We're going to take it into our arm overs now. So on your next inhale, take those arms overhead towards the floor. And then exhale, just bringing the arms back up towards the sky. Again, just moving with your breath, inhaling as the arms go over. And exhaling to come back up. Trying to keep the ribs relaxed and down, so don't let the ribs lift as the arms go over. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then letting your arms float all the way down to the floor, this time down by your sides. Take a moment again to roll your chest and shoulders open and just pausing here. We're going to just take our attention down to our legs. So having your arms down on the floor will help to stabilise you. We're going to go into our single knee fold here. So when you're ready, you're just going to bring one leg up into that tabletop position and then just lowering it down towards the floor. Other side, bringing that leg into tabletop and then lowering down towards the floor. And again, just a nice slow breath. I like to exhale as I bring the leg up and inhale as I lower down. If that doesn't make sense to your body, just breathe however it does. Again, just nice and controlled. One more on each side. And then as you place your foot back down on the floor this time, we're going to gently ooze ourselves off the side of your roller or your towel. So just gently rolling yourself onto the floor, rolling your towel or your roller out from under you, and then allowing your body to sink down to just integrate those sensations. And you can have your legs bent or your legs out long, whichever feels good to you, but just pausing here. Notice how it feels. Noticing how much of your back is now in contact with the floor. You might have lost that little space under the small of your back because your back is so relaxed. It almost feels like your spine is missing. So just enjoying that just for a couple more breaths. And then we're going to take it into our spine curl next. So moving the roller or your towel out so that it's not going to get in your way. And we're going to bend our knees back in. So feet flat on the floor. And let's have our feet and knees about hip width apart. When you're ready, take a breath. Tilt your pelvis towards you, and as you exhale, let's roll our hips up towards the sky. Just pause at the top for a breath, and exhale and slowly roll back down. So you'll move in on your exhale. I'm going to do that a few times, just finding that softness, finding that flow, easy movement this morning. Don't worry about how high you're coming up or how big the movement is. We're just looking to release tension through our back and just to get some movement there. As you roll down this time, we're going to stay down. Just pick up your knees, give your knees a little hug, and let's just rock gently side to side here. So we're going to move on to our soft ball, our Pilates ball next. So finding that, and we're going to pop it under our pelvis. So the easiest way to find that is to push your heels into the floor to lift bottom so that you can then place that ball underneath. And then we're just going to pause again here and take some deep breaths. Okay, just allowing your body to acclimatise to the ball now. And we're going to start to tilt our pelvis forwards and backwards here. So tilting your pelvis towards you so that your pubic bone is higher than your hip bones. Pelvis is like a ski slope. And then rolling back into that neutral position. So we're just going to gently tilt our pelvis forwards and backwards. Easy. And as you roll your pelvis into a more neutral position this time, so we're not tilting it towards us, we're not tilting it too far away from us. We want to find that point at which hip bones and pubic bones are kind of on the same level. So our pelvis is nice and flat, I suppose, level. And then we're going to hold our pelvis here, and we're going to go back to our arms, and we're going to do floor angels this time. So taking your arms down to the floor, backs of the hands are down. We're going to slowly slide the hands out along the floor and up towards our head. Keeping those ribs relaxed and down, so again we don't want the ribs to pop up. And then just slowly lowering back down. So you can have soft elbows. Again, we're looking for that easy movement. Let's just do a couple more here. Good. And then pausing as your arms come down towards your hips this time. So we're going to take it now into, back down to our legs. So let's bring one leg in and just hold behind your knee. So your pelvis might tip now towards you, that's fine. Let it go where it wants to go. And we're just going to again hold here. Try not to wobble too much. If you feel very wobbly and unstable this morning, you can have one arm down on the floor to support you, or you can just have that leg in and both arms on the floor if you're super wobbly this morning. We're taking some breaths again. We're just here. We're just noticing how this movement feels in our body. We're going to do a little scan, checking your jaw, checking your neck and shoulders. Are you holding tension anywhere? Are you pulling your belly in? Are you squeezing your bottom? Are you scrunching up your fingers, your toes? Just kind of scan through and see if there's any more softness that you can find. Obviously we're holding the knee in towards us, so there's a little bit of work around here, but everything else can be really relaxed. Let's place that leg back down on the floor and bring the other knee in this time. And again, we're just going to bring it in and we're just going to hold it. Noticing if it feels different one side to the other. Noticing just any sensations through your body. And then when you're ready, just releasing that leg back down to the floor. So we're going to keep our arms down on the floor. We're going to do our single knee fold here. So when you're ready, you're going to just bring one leg into that tabletop position and then lower it back down to the floor. Same on the other side, bringing the leg into tabletop and lowering it back down onto the floor. So with this one, because this session is all about kind of release, if your pelvis is going as that leg comes up, I don't mind for this one. Normally I'm trying to get you to hold everything still, but today, let it go where it wants to go. Single knee fold, one leg and then the other. So as you bring your leg in this time, hold it in. Keep your hands down on the floor and then start to straighten that leg out. It doesn't have to go fully straight, but start to straighten that leg out just so you can see your toes above your knee. And then we're going to lower that leg down towards the floor. Letting the leg come all the way down to the floor, and then once your foot's down, you're just going to slide that foot along the floor to bring it back in. And we're going to do the other side. We're going to bring the leg into tabletop. We're going to straighten the leg out towards the ceiling. And we're going to lower the leg down towards the floor. We're just going to go really slowly from one side to the other. Once that leg is down, sliding your foot along the floor to bring it back in. And again, leg comes in, the leg straightens, doesn't have to be fully straight, and then lowers down to the floor. Slides back in. As always, just taking it at your own pace. And this is another of those movements where the slower you go, the better it is. And I'm not really thinking about the position of my foot, I'm not really thinking about pointing my toes or having that flat foot. It's just a soft foot, it's just a relaxed foot, just letting it be where it wants to be. I'm going to do one more on each side. And as you slide your leg back in this time, if you're not quite there yet, join us when you're ready, but we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest. Now you can choose to keep your hands down on the floor if you need the stability, or you can wrap your hands around your knees, and your pelvis is going to really tilt back now. You might feel like you're rolling off your ball. And we're going to see if we can hold here. So this is called a thoracic release. It's releasing tension around the thoracic spine, which is your upper back, kind of, you know, behind your rib cage, where the back of your rib cage is. That area of your back would just release in there. So you'll feel that that is quite firmly planted into the floor here. Can you breathe into it? And then when you're ready, we're going to release the legs one at a time to bring your feet back down onto the floor. Press it into your heels to lift your bottom so you can take that ball away and then just lie yourself back down. Again, taking time to integrate that sensation. You can have legs bent or legs out long. And how does that feel? A few breaths here. You feel like you're melting into your mat. You're kind of becoming at one with the floor. Okay, we're going to bend the knees again. Let's bring our feet and knees together. Feet flat, knees bent, and then open up those arms to that T position. We're going to do a little spine twist here. So when you're ready, letting both knees roll gently to one side. Coming in through centre and over to the other side. Maybe your head wants to go the opposite way to your knees. As we just gently go one side to the other. Alright, as you come in through centre this time, just pause there. We're going to move on to our spiky prickle balls next. So grab those and also have your strap nearby so that it's within grabbing distance. And we're going to pop the balls under our bottom, one on each side. But remember, you can move them around, you can take them wider, more narrow, higher, lower. Feel free to adjust as you see fit at any point. And then once we're happy that they're there, we're going to swing our hips side to side, allowing the balls to kind of roll from one side to the other. Give yourself those lovely prickle marks on your skin when you get them changed after class. And they can stay for quite a while, can't they, sometimes? Okay, rolling out. Again, so feel free to move them around. And then just pause in there in centre. So we're going to go back to that little pelvic tilt again here. So tilting your pelvis towards you and then tilting it the other way. So again, we're applying more pressure and less pressure to the areas that the balls are in contact with. Try and find that easy flow. So we don't want to be trying to hold ourselves away from the balls. We want to be really sinking down. The more relaxed we can be, the deeper tissues are going to get released. The creaking is the balls, not my spine, I hope. So gently rocking forwards and backwards. And then pausing in centre, so trying to find that kind of neutral position here. So we're not tilted back towards us, we're fairly neutral. From here we're going to go into our knee drop. So we're going to keep the feet on the floor, but let one knee just gently roll out to the side. Bringing that knee back up towards the sky, and do the other side, knee drops out to the side and then comes back in. We're going to keep switching sides, and again with this one, let your body go where it wants to go. So as your knee drops out to the side, if your whole pelvis wants to go with it, just for today, you can let it. You might be so well trained that you struggle to let it go, because I do. But just letting your body do what it wants to do as you go from one side to the other. Let's use our breath. Inhale as your knee drops out, and exhale as your knee comes back in. Inhale as you open out, and exhale as you come back in. Go own pace, so it doesn't have to be the speed that I'm talking, but just finding your own rhythm and moving with your breath. And do you notice after a while, it's almost like you can't feel the balls are there anymore? Well, that's a good sign. That means your tissues aren't resisting, they're not holding tension, they're just allowing that release. Okay. So moving with the breath again, let's pause with the knees up towards the sky. And we're going to add the knee lift this time. So inhale as your knee drops out to the side. Exhale as we lift the foot away from the floor, bringing that knee towards your shoulder. Inhale as you lower the foot back down to the floor. And exhale as you bring that knee back up towards the sky. Other side, inhale, knee drops out. Exhale, bringing the knee towards the shoulder. Inhale as you lower your leg back down to the floor. And exhale, knee comes all the way back in. I'll keep talking through. Feel free to move at your own pace. Inhale, leg goes out. Exhale, knee comes to shoulder. Inhale, foot comes back to the floor. And exhale, knee back up towards the ceiling. One more time. Inhale, knee drops out. Exhale, knee lifts to shoulder. Inhale, foot comes back down to the floor. And exhale, knee comes back up to the ceiling. Pause in there, a couple of breaths. Let's start to gently swing our hips again side to side here. Good. Pause it again in centre. Bringing one leg up into that tabletop position. This time we're going to do knee circles. So imagine you've got a pencil balanced on your knee and you're going to draw a knee on the ceiling. Let's circle that leg. So think about this thigh bone circling in your hip socket. And then can you circle and go the other way? And then placing that foot back down on the floor. Let's do the other side. So bringing that leg into tabletop. And again, drawing your circles with your knee. And then reverse, go the other way. Good, placing that foot back down on the floor. Let's go to the other side again. So bringing that leg into tabletop. And this time we're going to straighten that leg out again a little bit. It doesn't have to be fully straight. Let's have a soft, relaxed leg. We're going to do little circles here. So think about tiny circle. Let's think about that spiral that we've been drawing. So tiny circle. And then starting to make that circle a little bit bigger as you start to spiral out. Just go as feels okay for you. Good. So whichever way we've been circling, we need to circle the other way, so pause, and let's start small again. So we're going to start to circle the other way, small, and starting to spiral out again. Good. Alright, and then when you're ready, we're just going to bend that leg back into tabletop and place your foot down. I'm not sure that I actually did circle in both directions. Bringing the other leg up this time, and then again straightening it out. I'm going to concentrate on my circles this time, starting small. Start to circle. Again, starting to make that circle a little bit bigger, starting to spiral out. Good. And you can make your spiral circle as big as you like. And then we're going to circle the other way. So pay attention, Sarah, which way are you circling your leg? And then pause. Starting small, let's circle the other way. And again, starting to spiral out. Good. Again, making that spiral as big or as small as feels good to you. Alright. And then when you're ready, bending that leg back into tabletop and placing your foot down. Let's again gently swing those hips side to side. Alright, I feel like we need to come off the balls for a moment. We're going to come back to them, but lift your hips up and take the balls away and lower your bottom down. Let's integrate again. You can have your legs out long or knees bent, whichever feels good to you. Just pause in there. A couple of breaths. So let's bend the knees, so feet flat, knees bent. And take your feet wide to the edges of your mat. Let's do our little windscreen wiper legs here. So you're going to let both knees roll gently to one side. Bringing them in through centre and over to the other side. And we're just going to go from side to side a few times here. Good. Okay. We're going to come up to seated. So come on up. And we're going to sit on the ball. So we're still working on our glutes. It's a lot of glutes today. But come and find that seated position with one ball under each side. And then hands behind you, knees bent. And just really slowly roll all the way, forwards and backwards, nice and slow. So obviously it's changed. The geometry of our body, we're kind of changed. How much pressure we've got now. So just go nice and slow. Good. And then let's bring our knees together and have our feet wide and roll there. Maybe you can roll forwards and back enough to kind of go over your sit bones. So as you kind of get the balls towards the front, you're kind of going over your sit bones. Can you find that? And the sit bones are where a lot of the attachments to your hamstrings kind of fasten up. Oh, sliding off. So you can get a lot of tension around there. You can get a lot of pain around those sit bones sometimes. And sometimes it's just related to tightness in those hamstrings. Let's switch around. Let's have feet together, knees out, so kind of frog or cobbler. And let's roll there. I say sit bones because everybody knows what we mean by sit bones. I don't want to start spouting anatomy textbooks at you, but if you're interested, the ischial tuberosities, sit bones is much better, isn't it? Okay. We're going to go back down. So let me just move them out of the way while we go back down onto our back. Come all the way back down again. They're going to go back under. You're going to have no bottom left. Under your bum. And grab your strap. So this is a hamstring release. I'm going to put one foot in the strap. So I've got one leg bent, one leg straight in that strap. Okay, and then we're going to just bend and straighten this leg that we've got in the strap. So you're just going to bend the knee down towards you and then straighten that leg out. But we're going to create some resistance. I want you to pull on this strap. So as you bring that leg down towards you, you're really pushing against the strap, like you're trying to really push your foot and you're trying to resist that strap coming in. And then as you push up towards the sky, you're pulling on your strap and you're trying to resist that leg going back out. So creating your own resistance. And again, we've just got the balls under our bottom. You can move them around to find the point that feels like that's where it wants to be. Anywhere is good. And then as you straighten your leg out this time, we're going to keep the leg straight. Give yourself enough strap because we're going to lower that leg down towards the floor. So lowering the leg down and then lifting it back up towards the sky. Lowering and lifting. Let's do two more like this. And then as your leg comes up this time, we're going to pause again there. And we're just going to switch and pop the other leg in the strap. So switching legs. Again, we're going to bend and straighten that leg that's in the strap. Remember that we're resisting, so we're pulling on the strap. We're trying to prevent the leg from coming in. We're trying to prevent the leg from straightening out. Good job. And then as you straighten that leg out this time, let's keep it straight. Again, give yourself enough strap to lower that leg down towards the floor. And then back up towards the sky. Two more. One more time. And then just gently bending that leg in. Get rid of your strap. Put your strap down. And just pause there for a moment. Okay. So keeping the balls where they are, we're going to bring one leg up and we're going to cross it over the other, but not like a number 4 stretch. I want you to have it like you're sitting with your legs crossed, so thigh to thigh, and those legs are really quite close together. Yeah. And then we're going to roll gently side to side here. So it's like your spine twist, and you'll find that like one side is almost lifting off the ball as you roll from one side to the other, and that's fine. So just gently rolling side to side. And again, you can feel that pressure change as you roll across the ball. getting deeper into those gluteal muscles to find that release. And then whichever way your leg is crossed over to, so kind of whichever side your foot is, you're going to pause at that side. And if that doesn't make sense, it doesn't matter because we're going to do both sides anyway. But roll into one side and hold in there. So again, you might feel like the other ball's you've not got any weight on that ball at all, that's fine. A lot of weight on one side. If you need to come off at any time, then do. You can just go back to your little swing side to side. But if it feels okay, we're going to stay here. Whichever side your legs have gone to, we're going to do our floor angel with the opposite arm. So start to slide the opposite arm out along the floor and up towards your head. And then back down towards your hip. We're just going to do that 3 times, sliding the arm out and up. And then back down. One more time. And as it comes down towards your hip this time, just pause. Bringing your knees back in through centre, keeping them crossed over like this, roll them to the other side. So it kind of feels weird to this side. That's why I always try and get you to go one side, the other side first. And again, we're going to pause here. If you need to come out of it, obviously, please do. Otherwise, we're going to stay here. And can you again do your little arm angel on the opposite side now? Whichever side your legs have gone to, we're going to do floor angel on the opposite side, just 3 times. Sliding out along the floor, up towards your head, gently back down, keeping the ribs relaxed. One more time. And as your arm comes down towards your hip again, you're going to come back in through centre, bringing your knees back up towards the ceiling. Remember which leg you crossed over because we need to do the other side. So releasing your leg. Let's roll out again and just swing gently side to side. Just give a little release there before we do the other side. And when you're happy and ready to do the other side, we're going to do it again. Crossing your legs over, thigh to thigh, get them squeezed as tightly together as you can, and just rock in again side to side here. Again, change the shape and the position of our body to just really make sure that we're getting in and giving real good attention to all of the nooks and crannies, making sure that everywhere is released. Oh, so good. And then again, so whichever side your legs have gone to, so whichever side your free foot is, pause at that side first. Hold in there, check in, making sure you're okay, you're happy there. It's not giving you any weird pains or anything like that. And if you're happy, let's do floor angels. Again, whichever side your legs have gone to, opposite arm slides out along the floor and up towards your head. Slowly, slowly back down. 3 times. When you've done your 3, bringing your knees back up and rolling your legs over to the other side. Pausing there again, just make sure that it feels okay. And let's do our floor angels again here, opposite arm. Slowly, slowly up and down. Again, when you've done about 3, just going to pause. Going to bring your legs back in through centre. Going to uncross. You're going to lift your hips up away from those balls. Take the balls away. Lower your bottom back down. And straighten your legs out long. Oh, let's hold here. Let's take some deep breaths. And again, be at one with the floor. It's such a strange sensation, isn't it, when you feel like there's no there's no bottom or there's no spine. It's like your skeleton is completely anchored down on the floor because everything else is just melted away. Reaching those deeper levels, releasing that fascia, releasing those hot spots and tension within your muscles, and it's just such a lovely, relaxing feeling for your whole body. So we've done a lot on our glutes, we've done quite a bit on our hamstrings. We're going to just roll over onto our front and just do a little quad release now to release the fronts of our thighs. So take your time, we're rolling over onto your front. And we're just going to do our normal quad stretch here. So you can rest your head down on your hand, and we're just going to bend one knee and then reach your hand back and grab your ankle. And just take some deep breaths here. Releasing that leg. Let's go to the other side. So we're not holding it for too long because we're going to come back and do it again in a second. So other side, grab your ankle. Hold in here. Remember, you can always use your strap if you need to. Good job. And then releasing that leg. Just take a moment to rock your hips side to side, just freeing off your lower back. So we're going to do that little quad stretch again. We're going to do on each side again. If you want to, you can add one of the prickle balls under your thigh, if you can reach them. Just do one at a time. So anywhere on your side, I'm just going to kind of go from right, like halfway between my hip and my knee. So just kind of find that position. And then again, you're going to bend that leg. And reach your hand back to grab your ankle and hold there. Now if it's too much pressure on your thigh, you can take the ball away, or you can release the leg a little bit and just have the leg hovering so that you're not holding your ankle, and you can control the pressure there. If you're going for it, let's hold here. And then releasing that leg. I'm going to do the other side, so taking that ball out, let's pop it onto the other leg. Again, there's nowhere on that quad that you wouldn't want to have the ball, you just wouldn't want it directly on your knee. So anywhere that you can reach or anywhere that feels okay, placing the ball there. And again, bending that knee, grabbing your ankle. Noticing if it's different one side to the other. Good job. And then when you're ready, just gently releasing that leg, taking that ball out from under you. And we're going to push ourselves up and back into child's pose, into that rest position, just to give our back a little stretch out. Reach your arms forwards and hold here. And then when you're ready, coming up. So we're ready to go into our cranial release now. So grab your two balls and over onto your back again. So this is where we're releasing all the way down. So we're going to start with the balls together behind your head. You can always soften them a little bit by placing a towel over them if they feel too spiky under your head. If they're sliding in your hair, remember you can put them under your hair. And if they really won't stay in place like mine today, you can hold them there. And then have your knees bent, your feet flat, because that's just a really nice position for your spine. Feel Feel free to close your eyes and just relax here. Scanning through your body, looking for those hot spots, looking for those points of tension where you grip, and see if you can soften. Notice any resistance to the balls. So again, are you trying to hold your head away from the balls because they feel sharp, so you're kind of creating tension in your neck to lift? Seeing if you can surrender the weight of your head to allow those balls to kind of sink that a little bit deeper. And then we're going to move the balls down. We're going to move them down behind our neck this time. So they're going to go right behind your neck. And let your head just relax back down towards the floor. Your chin will probably lift towards the ceiling. That's fine here because we are releasing the back of the neck. So that's fine. And again, hold. Taking some deep breaths. And then depending how it feels for you, you might want to really super slowly turn your head to one side, just moving really slowly, because obviously it's going to create more pressure on one side of your neck, and it's fine as long as it feels okay. Just taking it as far as feels alright on that one side, and then go to the other side. You would only ever do this with these really soft balls. You would not want to be using tennis balls or any hard balls here on your neck. It just might create too much pressure. But the soft balls are really nice for this. So again, you might choose to stay in centre, or you might want to go to each side again, just nice and slow. Always just being really aware of how your body feels. And remember, if anything just does not feel right for you, that's your body saying no. And you have to respect that. You have to say, okay, this just isn't for me. I'm going to go back to the one before. I'm going to move on to the next one. And that's absolutely fine. We're going to move the balls down again. They're going to come down now to where your neck and shoulder meet. So find that. And if you're not comfortable with your head here, feel free to grab your big soft ball and place that under your head if you need to. So the balls are right at where the neck and the shoulder meet now. Tends to be a position that holds a lot of tension, those trapezius muscles right there. That's the bit you always want someone to come and give a little rub, isn't it? You want to get people to get their thumbs in there and kind of release those knots. So think of it as a little self-massage here. Taking some deep breaths. Always scanning, looking for anything you can let go of. And remember, if you were doing this little cranial release sequence on your own, you could spend as long as you wanted to in each position. Some positions will feel like really good for you and some not so nice. So you might find that some that you go a little bit more quickly through and others you just want to hold, you just want to stay there for a while. And that's really nice to do. Move the balls down again. So this time they're going to go right where your arm and your shoulder meet, so just kind of behind. Yeah, so that it's not directly on my arm, it's just inside a little bit. On the join. Think about if you were a Barbie or an action man. Have it on the join of your arm. So remember, with this trigger point release using these balls, sometimes you will get that heat, feeling of hot there. Sometimes you'll get that feeling of a little bit of nausea, is quite common as your body releases tension. Sometimes you get that tremoring. That's your body's way of shaking off tension. The thing that we never ignore though is just that electric shock feeling. And if you've got a trapped nerve and you put pressure on it and you get that electric shock, we don't want to irritate any aggravated nerves already, so you would just immediately come off and just reset and breathe and just let your body just rebalance itself. Again, remember, if your head is uncomfortable here, you can place something under your head. Let's move the balls closer together now. So let's bring them between our shoulder blades. And I know that you can't see, so that might be not sure. Again, it doesn't matter where there. And if you don't like your head coming all the way back, you can of course pop something under your head. You can support your head in your hands if you want to. But I do like to have arms relaxed down by the sides, if possible, because that's going to give you a better release for your shoulders. If you don't mind your head kind of being in this laying back position, you are getting a little bit of back extension here as well, which is really good. But I know not everybody likes to feel like they're upside down. Let's move those balls again now. So let's take them down. This time we're going to come into the fleshy bit between your bottom of your rib cage and your pelvis, so the softer part of your back, one on either side of your spine. And then just lie down here. So this is where you might feel that it feels spiky again. It feels quite a little bit sharp when you lie down. Breathe in, letting your body sink, trying not to resist away from them. Let's move them down again a little bit. So just come into, just onto the kind of brim of your pelvis. So you know where the two little dimples are right at the base of your spine, right at the top of your bottom. That's kind of what we're looking for here. And if your pelvis wants to tilt, that's fine. If it wants to be flat, that's fine. Let it go, let it be where it wants to be. This is often quite a tender spot. Sometimes it will feel almost bruised here. So we're going to move down again. This time we're going to take one ball away and just have one ball right in the centre. So it's right behind your pelvis. And then hold there. And again, if your pelvis wants to tilt forwards or backwards, wherever it is, that's fine. Trying to sink down again. Right, let's take the ball away. Press into your heels to lift your bottom, take the ball away, and then release yourself back down onto the floor. Lengthen out those legs one at a time. And just hold here. Taking a moment to scan through your body, noticing any frown lines between your eyebrows, seeing if you can soften your forehead. Softening the tissues around your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw, neck and shoulders. Noticing how your spine feels in contact with the floor, maybe noticing that your rib cage is heavy, shoulder blades are anchored down. Maybe again your back is completely flat and you don't have that little space under the small of your back, just notice. Maybe noticing that your pelvis is completely flat on the floor and that your hip bones and pubic bone are on the same plane. Easy. Maybe you can feel that the backs of your legs are in contact with the floor. Just notice. We're just going to pause here for 2 more breaths. And then moving slowly. You're going to bend your knees one at a time. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give your knees a little hug. Let's just gently, gently rock side to side here. And take your time, but come on up to find a seated position. Just pausing there for a moment. Let's just do some little shoulder rolls each way. Gently turning your head side to side. And then just notice how you feel. Does your neck feel good? Do your shoulders, does your back feel good? Do you feel loose and free and like you can just take on anything today?